So now we're left with the rest of the setup menu. So I'm just going to go to my menu on the left-hand side. We've got our venues, our fees, restricted dates, and customer types. So usually we start at the top of the list, but for bookings, I'd recommend you start with your customer types. So customer types, basically, this is just going to be the discount rates that you might need. So when you're setting up your customer types, you might have groups or customers or certain charities that you've agreed specific rates with. So with Scribe, we just apply these discounts to your standard rates. So here we can see that I've already got a list where I'm applying possibly 25% discount, 15% discount, etc. off. So try and keep those as generic as you can so that you can use them for multiple different groups. So I've even got one here that says 0 rate, and that's just when the hall is being booked free of charge for the parish council use. So to add a new one, again, top right-hand corner, edit and add a record. Type in the name of your discounted rate. So if this one was going to be 30%, I might just pop in 30% there. You can have a description of what that's for. So that might be, discounted rate for a specific group or for specific residents or non-residents, whatever else you want to pop into there, you can. And then we have that code. So that code is going to be what the customer or that specific discounted group is going to be using at the checkout when they're making that booking to obviously have that discounted rate applied for them. So I just keep mine with an R on the front to say that it's a reduced rate, and I'm going to use 30 because it's 30%. So adding that in, we can see that that's just populated into that list as I've got there. So once we've got those discounted rates, we can now go ahead and add our fees. So using to the setup menu, we're then going to come down to fees. So fees can be used as a set of higher costs for your venues, and you can apply different filters and different times and different dates and obviously different customers to those rates. So we try to group them together as much as we can so that, again, keeping those generic terms, we can apply them to more than one venue at a time. So I might have 6 different football fields, but I've just grouped them all together as a sports field. You might have, specific small venues or medium venues. I've got one here for my small venues, which I might use for my village hall or my community centre or my meeting room, etc. as well. So if you can group these together, obviously do. If you can't because your pricing structure is set up to specific venues only, such as I've got one here for my Dayworth Hall, then you can obviously create one of those specifically for that. Other than that, to create a new fee group, top right-hand corner, as with everything else, and add that new fee group. Simply type in the name, click on to add, and it will populate into that list. I'm going to look at mine in more detail now, so I'm going to come over to my small venues group. So coming into this one, once you've created it, you've then got the ability to start adding your fees. So nice and easy for the fees. We've obviously got a list here of those that I've already created. So what the rates are, the active days, obviously times and dates, and if you've got discounted rates in there as well. So to create them, I'm just going to click onto this add fee. It knows that it's within the small venues group, which I've already created. So you've got the time unit there. Type in the duration if it's obviously for an hour or for 2 hours or 4 hours, if you have specific different rates for them, and then simply type in the price. So if I've got £30 an hour, it understands that. I have an advanced drop-down menu below that where I've got the ability to start customizing this. So if it's £30 an hour and I want to choose between dates, I can obviously type that in. So if you are reviewing or you do review your fees annually, you might want to choose a sort of, beginning of the financial year and end of the financial year. And times as well. So if that's my, £30 price for my peak periods, and my peak periods runs from sort of, 4 o'clock in the afternoon until whatever it is, sort of 7 o'clock in the evening, I can obviously type in those times and select any active days. So if you leave this blank, it'll be the full 7 days of the week. But other than that, if it's only, your peak periods from Monday to Friday, then I can obviously just choose those dates, Monday building up to Friday, so that it knows what those rates are. So pop that in, add that into the list. You'll see it will appear here. I've got my £30 at the bottom now, valid on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for my peak period times. So Carry on adding through from that. As you can see, I've chosen those individual ones for those customer types. So rather than typing those, we'll just take a quick look at those. Come into my hour one here, and you can see I've got a price there of £0. Underneath the advanced, I've chosen that customer type. So that discounted rate I created at the beginning for 0 rate.